Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 8 in our countdown of our 31 favorite power trio bands of all time, 31 days of July. My favorite 31 power trios. Just 3 guys, 3 gals, 3 people, 3 musicians in a band delivering the goods. Again, the configurations could be just about anything you can imagine, right? Because we're all picking our favorites here. So in many cases, mine is guitar, bass, and drums. But as you saw a couple of days ago, we've got keyboards, bass, and drums. Maybe there's, keyboards, guitar, and drums, right? Could be anything. Anything. Could be fiddle, theremin, and drums. Could be glockenspiel, Hammond organ, and sitar, right? Whatever. As long as you feel that that band is potent and deserving of being called a power trio, right? Then feel free to pick whatever you like in the comments below. I'm picking mine, though, right? And for my pick number 8, it's a British band that got their start in 1970. Yeah, they formed in 69, but their first album was released in 1970. Ironically enough, their first album, not a trio. They had a bunch of other members, but then midway through the year, they kind of retooled the band, and it came down to a power trio. And this power trio released 2 studio albums. Then the bass player left to go join a very popular band, and the remaining guys brought in a couple extra dudes, and then they became like a quartet going forward, right? Talking about Trapeze. Glenn Hughes on vocals and bass, Mel Galley on guitars and vocals, and Dave Holland on drums. Of course, Glenn Hughes will go off to join Deep Purple for the Burn album, right? Eventually, as the decade wore on and the 80s came about, Dave Holland, of course, would go and join Judas Priest. Mel Galley would join Whitesnake, right? But also kind of replacing Glenn Hughes on vocals was a guy named Peter Golby, who, of course, also fronted Uriah Heep, sang for Uriah Heep in the 80s, right? A lot of shuffling parts in the Trapeze history here, but a great power trio for just those 2 albums, 1970, 1971. Trapeze, Medusa. Medusa is the name of the second album, released in 1970. Terrific. For me, one of the seminal, most underrated heavy rock albums of the early 70s. Such a killer album with a very young Glenn Hughes singing up a storm. His bass playing is great too. Mel Galley cranking out the big power riffs. Dave Holland holding it all down. I mean, just so many great songs on here. And it's kind of funky too. Because I guess, if you got Glenn Hughes involved in anything, he's going to bring a little of the funk. But this is a good, hard rockin' heavy album with a little bit of funk. Black Cloud is a great song. Jury is so heavy and epic. Your Love Is All Right. Touch My Life. Seaful, another really heavy track. Makes You Want to Cry. Soulful hard rock song. And then the big heavy riffs of Medusa. Title track. Finishing it all off. I mean, this is like one of those albums I have played so much in my life. I love it. It's so underrated. So underrated. I've got a picture of the guys here. And I got a picture of the guys on the next album. Yeah, there we go. So here they are. Look at that. Look at those young guys right there. Yeah, it's such a great album. If you've never listened to Trapeze, again, the first album is more of kind of like, because, they were on Threshold Records, which is the Moody Blues' record label. The first album got all these additional players, woodwinds and things like that, and very, very different beast. Very kind of like psychedelic, pop-oriented, kind of symphonic, jazzy type of thing. Totally different. I mean, you talk about like the notable bands who went like a complete 360 or 180 from one album to the next. Man, Trapeze has got to be one of them, because that first album ain't heavy at all, isn't really rocking at all, and then you get this beast. It's just like, whoa. I can imagine people who were totally into that first album and got this, and they're like, wait a second, is this the same band? Yeah, sort of, not quite. They would go on after this album, so a year later, and release You Are the Music, We're Just the Band. And no, it's not a live album. Well, you kind of think that by looking at it. All right, there they are in the back there. Very similar to the Medusa album. Maybe not quite as heavy. This one's a little more funky, but definitely very melodic, really fun. Keep in Time, great song. You know what this album reminds me of a little bit? Reminds me a little bit of Come Taste the Band by Deep Purple. Again, that probably has a lot to do with Glenn Hughes's involvement, really. But yeah, this has got really deep grooves, and it's funky, it's hard rocking, really catchy songs. Keeping Time is great. Coast to Coast is a terrific kind of more atmospheric ballady type track from Glenn Hughes. Great vocal on that one. What is a Woman's Role? Killer song, Way Back to the Bone. Man, just totally rocks. What a groove on that. Feeling So Much Better Now. Again, lots of funk there. Will Our Love End? Great song. Loser, nice heavy rocking song. And then You Are the Music, We're Just the Band. Just is a just terrific, rock and roll, hard rock party anthem. Love it. Both indispensable albums in my opinion. Medusa's a little bit stronger, but this is terrific as well. And that would be it for the trio. Like I said, Glenn Hughes would leave and join Deep Purple, so that left Mel Galley and Dave to kind of retool the band, add additional members, and becoming a four-piece. And that's cool too. And for a little bit, Mel started singing a little bit more, which was pretty interesting. Really good voice. Mel doesn't sound that unlike Glenn. And then they brought Peter Golby, and he fully took over lead vocals. So he's got a little bit of a different voice. So that is my pick for today. Trapeze. Mel Galley, Glenn Hughes, and Dave Holland, the power trio, period. Let us know what you think of Trapeze in the comments below, as well as your pick here. Pick number 8. As we count down, we move our way to number 1. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all the damn time. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell. We also have links below to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page where you can get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. It's always available all the damn time. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow with pick number 7 here on our favorite power trios of all time. Take care. Bye-bye.